Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie from Delta CX, and it's Wednesday, which means I am here to help you in whatever way I can. I've got my headset microphone today because my other microphone is in the booth for our book club. So hopefully everybody can hear me okay, and I've remembered to turn it on. I am here to answer any question you have, any question I'm qualified to answer. So that could be related to CX, UX, product strategy, jobs, portfolios, interviewing, and it could also be from my life coaching side. Things related to time management, confidence, communication, relationships. I am not a therapist, but I am a certified life coach, and I'm happy to help there as well. While I wait for y'all to send in questions, you can send them in live in the chat and they'll pop up on the screen, or you can send them anonymously to dcx.to/q. They will fall into my email and I will pick them up. Let me also remind everybody that I've got a free webinar coming up. You can find it at atomicpmf.com/lightning. It's going to be a short version of my atomic product market fit model, because there is a fresh new model in here that I'm very excited about. Even Claude said it is fresh and it hasn't seen anything like this yet. So, hey, I've invented a thing. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that model, which you can use in your work. You can use it in a startup. You can use it in your own business, your own entrepreneurial adventure. And I'll also be talking a little bit about using AI in where I think it belongs in problem finding and problem solving processes. And that it's going to be a free webinar. So jump on that. I'm going to be doing one on March 12th. And after March 12th, I'll set up another one so that there will be two free webinars people can go to. It's a preview of a larger course. If you would like a significant discount on the course, just join my dcx.to. We'll have the links to both of those. Hello, Ana Lucia. And right now, I've got some limited time discounts in the events channel on the Discord and in a recent Patreon post. And those are both free to join. So I'm giving you discounts and I ask for nothing in return other than I would love to see you join the community. I'm going to check for any questions, not seeing them yet. I also know that sometimes the questions haven't been showing up lately on LinkedIn. So let me open up LinkedIn and see if people have questions. Because if you do, I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I'm not. It looks like LinkedIn hasn't notified people that I'm live yet. So you might not know I'm live. Another good reason to follow on YouTube and Twitch. Hopefully, then you will know. So, if you have a question on any topic, if there is a topic you just want me to discuss or speak to, all of these are welcome. I do this every Wednesday. It is completely free. If we don't have any questions, I'll sign off in about 10 minutes and give everybody their time back. But if we do have questions or topics to discuss, let me know. I will wait for them. Check, see if any are coming in while I'm not looking. Looks like LinkedIn is not being notified that we are live. So that is always unfortunate, but another good reason why I was notified of you going live on LinkedIn. Ah, okay. Usually I get a notification in my own LinkedIn that I've gone live and I'm not getting it. So I thought maybe it didn't go out, but if you're seeing it, that's good. The problem is if I'm not seeing it, I can't catch. Let me try another way around. Anyway, if anybody has any questions, please ask them, or any topics on your mind that you'd like me to discuss. Okay, I see 8 people on LinkedIn. Hello there. Um, Let me know if you would like anything to be discussed. I'm here for you. And looks like LinkedIn is almost a minute behind. Oh, LinkedIn people, please follow on Twitch. The delay is so short, it's nearly live, and then YouTube's a little better. So, yeah, yeah. So, okay, so I will just wait to see if anybody has any questions. Some weeks we are overwhelmed with questions, some weeks we have no questions. Totally fine either way. If there's something you want to talk about, we can talk about that. Otherwise, I will get back to work. Oh, excuse me. I am just still not caught up from between my travels and publishing the book. I am just not caught up on sleep yet. Any questions? Any topics on your mind? There's got to be a topic on somebody's mind. You can't have no topics on your mind. But again, that's okay. I do have a subject that I might, okay, I will wait for Ana Lucia to type out her subject. Let's see what she would like to talk about. We're not in any rush. We will wait to see what this is. I need to get my drum roll sound back. I don't have the drum roll. Let's see. I have the gong. Oh, that which didn't play. Let's try again. There you go. And it looks like I have the applause. Very light round of applause. But I do not have the other stuff. I'll be copy pasting a summary of the subject because it's from a 42-page document. Okay, I am not going to be reading a 42-page document, but cool. Let's see what summary you've got from it. And maybe you can also tell us which document this is that you're working from in case some people actually want to read it or put it in their favorite LLM. And while we wait for that, I also wanted to mention that my upcoming course is going to be teaching people in UX how to use AI better and thoughtfully, since many people are curious about it. Some are being forced to at their jobs. So um, I'm going to be teaching that as someone who's actually using it. See, okay. Google DeepMind just published a 42-page paper called Intelligent AI Delegation, and it's the most honest thing I've read about the state of AI this year. The paper breaks down two fundamental problems. First, AI is not self adaptive. It doesn't learn from its mistakes in real time, and it can't recover when things go wrong. Second, and more, not trustworthy. It's not reliable, and we currently don't have a solution for that. When you combine multiple AI agents together, which is what every company which is what every company is trying to do right now, those two problems multiply. You get unreliable systems with zero accountability and no way to trace what went wrong. Google's proposed solution is to treat AI delegation the way you would treat delegation in a real company, with contracts, verification systems, trust scores, strict permissions, and mandatory human approval for high stakes actions. Essentially, all the infrastructure you need when you can't trust the employee during the work, which is funny. Why do we have someone we don't trust doing work? The takeaway is simple. Next time someone tells you AI is about to replace your job, send them this paper. The people actually building the systems just told you how far we are from that reality. Great. Thank you for that. Really interesting. Let me get that in our, what'll be our YouTube summary. So that's super interesting. So, the link to the document, thank you for that. Let me get that. Hold on, I'm just doing lots of copying and pasting first. And it's going to be hard to put this up on the screen, so maybe I'll just get that uh, document link up, even though it's a funky document. Okay, so let's get that up on the screen and let's talk about this. Thanks for an interesting topic. And so this is kind of the situation of there was a summary from an Instagrammer I thought was really nice. Well, that was a good summary too, and that's a paper we can check out or have summarized for us. And so you're talking about two fundamental problems with AI here in March 2026. Can't speak to the future. That first, AI is not self adaptive. It doesn't learn from its mistakes in real time and it can't recover when things go wrong. That is still mostly true. I also find that AI does not. Some AI, at least I work with Claude. I can't speak to other stuff. Does not know it's constructing or hallucinating until you catch it and or you challenge it. If you say, "Hey, wait, let's fact check that," or "Wait, where did you get that information?" or "Who said that in our interviews?" then it can be like, "Oh, wait, I can't find that. I must have made that up," or something like that. So, does it learn from its mistakes in real time? I find that with Claude, it sometimes can learn from its mistakes, but only in that chat for however long that chat goes. And sometimes if you walk away from that chat for some hours and you come back and you get what is called instance rotation, then it doesn't always remember. So at best, AI can try to correct its mistakes inside of the same chat, but there are some chats I've had to abandon because AI just could not fix itself and could not get out of some bad loops and patterns. So I would agree with that. That's part of why I keep saying AI still needs a lot of babysitting. AI is not set it and forget it. AI is not push a button and let it run. There's still a lot of things we need to do. Instead of human in the loop, I think it's more like AI in the loop, AI as a tool in certain places in our process. I'm saying thoughtfully. Let's thoughtfully use AI rather than just try to smear it on everything. And then the second thing the paper brought up was AI is not trustworthy, it's not reliable, and we don't have a good solution. I'd want to know more about that because that's a very broad claim. And I've had a lot of good experiences with Claude, and I find Claude generally reliable. So I'd be curious to figure out if there's something that it says that AI is not reliable about. But then the next thing that you mentioned is that many companies are trying to combine multiple AI systems and agents together. Like the data from this AI tool will get moved over to this AI tool so that this can be done with it, and then we're going to move it over here and this can be done with it. And obviously, like any process, every moment or step of that process has the potential for small and large failures. And so that's why the to me the constant question would be, who's checking on this? How often? How are they checking on it? These are important questions. And so um I think that when I've always said that if you have an employee that you don't trust, that person probably needs to be fired. I don't love to see people lose their jobs, but if an employee has not been able to earn trust or has broken trust, and you don't trust that person to do their job well or at all, that's probably the wrong person for this job or your company. And unfortunately, somebody you probably need to let go of so that you can put a stronger person into that role. So, to try to compare AI's flaws to an employee that we don't trust, to me doesn't totally make sense because if AI has broken trust, then you either have to stop using it or you have to use it much less or you have to be watching over it more. But I would also ask if you're trying to do the wrong thing with the wrong tool. Like I tell a story sometimes on this show and certainly in my new Atomic Product Market Fit book where I tested out, and this was late last year. This was not a very long time ago. This was, I think, last summer. I had done 8 interviews. I had the transcript. The job I was at said everybody should use Copilot because we have a paid Microsoft subscription. Use Copilot. So I put the 8 transcripts into Copilot. I also put screenshots of process maps where, as I spoke to people in these interviews, we kind of mapped out their steps and their process. I fed that into Copilot and I said, before we do anything, ask me clarifying questions. And the second question it asked me was, did anybody talk about their process? Now, at that point, I have zero trust for the tool, and that is a tool that I absolutely don't want to use. My gut feeling is not, "Ooh, wait, oh, let me explain this to the tool and let's try again." My gut feeling is I cannot use this tool. I do not trust it. And I am not going to be able to polish this into something that works well. And I walked away from the tool and I told the company I found Copilot usable, unusable, at least for this particular uh, type of usage. So I think that if trust is broken, then you are looking at the wrong process or tool or agent or whatever it is. Not every tool is going to be right for every company or process or step of a process. And I think we're just going to have to be pickier about this. We can't just use Copilot because we happen to have a subscription and we're already paying for it. It might not be good enough. We can't just use Gemini because it came with our Google Workspace account. Try it, test it, run it through try it with different aspects of your work and see if it deserves trust. And if it doesn't deserve trust, you can try to polish it up. But for me, I've been saying, okay, these are not ready for me to use them. I'll give them a few months to evolve. Maybe I'll try them again. I haven't tried Copilot again with that experiment, but I plan to in April when I do my live course. You can check out the preview for the live course at atomicpmf.com/lightning. That will be a free preview of the course, so I'm not going to get to try out all the things in the short free preview webinar, but um, that's where I am with these things. When Claude does something well, I want to use it. If 4.5 is better than 4.6 in Claude, I'm going to stay with 4.5. If I like Sonnet better than Opus, I'm going to use Sonnet, even if people are saying, oh, Opus is more powerful or Opus has this. If it's not working for my usage or style or tasks or work or whatever it is, it's not right for me. It does not have product market fit with me, and I should use the tools that fit me best. Ana Lucia says, most of all, it should be used as a tool, not another coworker to be trusted blindly. Right. I don't think of AI as my coworker. I think of AI as my thinking partner. It challenges me. I challenge it. And I have very strict boundaries with it. For example, I don't want it to write stuff for me. I want to write my own stuff. Some people love to have LLMs write their stuff or rewrite their stuff. I don't want that. I'm a comfortable writer. I enjoy writing, and I want very much for my unique voice to come through in my writing. And I have found that when I ask Claude to go ahead and try to write something in my style, it does not understand my style, and it uses a lot of typical AI hallmarks like, but here's the thing. And I'm like, yeah, I don't usually say that. So no thanks. So I think it's AI is like any tool. You know, we're in the same place we were X years ago when it was, oh, should we use Figma or Acture or oh gosh, what was everybody using? Sketch. You know, we're all fighting over which tool should we use and what's the best tool. And okay, so Sketch might be better for this and Figma might be better for this, but Acture is going to be better if you're trying to build a realistic prototype. Different tools were better for different things, and that's no different today in March 2026. Some tools are better than others. They're not all interchangeable. Some are weak and flawed and messy, and some are better. Ana Lucia says, that's exactly what bugs me about this situation. Companies want to deploy this so they can lay off people. Then some of them are trying to have AI agents answering to other AI agents, and the mistakes snowball. Tools are not people. Yeah, I mean, if we imagine that there were no AI at all, and we went into a tool and we had the tool try to create something for us, or if we imagine just the first step has AI, like the tool creates something for us. We don't look at it or think about it at all. We copy and paste that into another tool. We ask that tool to do something with that data. We don't look at it at all. We copy and paste that into something else. We ask the next tool to do something with that data. There's a really, really high chance that there will be small or large errors or failures. I'm not going to say mistakes because to me, a mistake is something that we just couldn't see coming. We never could have seen it coming. We could not have predicted it, and we could not have stopped it from happening. These are going to be errors and bad decisions. So, you can try to have an assembly line of AI agents. You can ask an AI tool to figure out what users want. Based on what? I don't know. That's going to be part of the problem. Garbage in or nothing in, garbage out. AI, you're asking AI to hallucinate in that case. Then you can ask AI to take what you think users want, and then you can ask it to design something. Those designs may or may not be great. Then you can take that and ask AI to code that. And so again, these are just potential failure points. The only difference is because AI is still relatively early in the scheme of doing this type of work, it's unfortunately still likely that there's a lot of this it's not going to do well. Even in the work that I do with having it look at my qualitative research transcripts and help me with analysis, synthesis, and reporting. I had a situation just a few weeks ago where it gave me a quote about I would pay 30 to 50 per month for that, and I didn't remember anybody saying that. And I said, can you find me who said that? And it turned out nobody said that. But if I were not more careful and if I didn't fact check these things at each point, I would run the risk of giving a client a report or even strategic advice with problems, with built-in problems. That immediately lowers my value because I can't say, "Oh, AI gave that to me and I just didn't check it or proofread it." Nobody's impressed by that. Nobody's happy with that. Nobody feels like they're getting what they're paying. So if we really want to demonstrate our value is still in the humanity of this stuff. Ana Lucia says, even if your process was completely human, if your work is based on wrong data, oops, sorry, I'm getting a pop up over your message. Then the conclusions will be wrong too. If someone along the way didn't care enough about their work and made stuff up, the entire process is tainted. Yeah, we talk about that in disruptive research. We probably do. In Atomic Product Market Fit, I talk about how there are times when humans don't do research well, either because we didn't have the time, we didn't have the budget, we didn't understand what good research would look like, so we just did something that we thought was research. And then we have the problem of now we have bad data. We have bad or flawed data. We might even have invalid data. And sometimes we know it and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we suspect it and sometimes we have no clue. And the problem is if we have any confidence in that data, then that data gets moved down the assembly line. That data gets used to make strategies, priorities, decisions, solutions, designs, and more, and we've got bad data. So that's often why I would say bad data is worse than no data, because at least with no data, we can't say, oh, see, I went out and I did this research, so this must be good. We would have to say, hey, I did no research, I know nothing. And we're just going to have to deal with that. So, yes, human work can be bad and tainted and flawed and messy. And and we move that down the line too. But that causes problems as well. And, the obvious question would be, do we care? And are we paying attention to that? And blah, blah, blah. So, uh, there you go. Any other thoughts? Anybody want to agree, disagree, ask a follow up question, etc.? So, just sending something to Pierre Mario. And let's see if there's any other comments on LinkedIn that I might be missing today. Not see. I'm still not getting the LinkedIn notification for myself today. So hopefully it's out there for some of you. I'll go back and check it another way. But I did not get a notification that I was live today. So that's a not a good. That's why I hope you will all follow on YouTube, Delta CX Hive, as in hive of bees, or Twitch, twitch.tv Hive. Okay, I see a few people live on LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIners, if you have any questions or a topic you'd like me to discuss, please let me know. Checking my email, I don't see any anonymous questions. Ana Lucia says the news article about Windows 12 was great too. I don't even know what to think about it. It's so out of touch. Yeah. In case you're not part of our Discord and you don't know what we were all chatting about today over on the free Discord community, there was an article saying that Windows 12 is supposedly coming sometime this year, and that they're like totally making everything AI focused, AI and everything, AI everywhere. I don't know what we're going to be able to turn off and what we're not going to be able to get away from. Like right now in Microsoft Office, whatever you want to call that now, I can turn off Copilot. And so I don't get Copilot popping up and all of that, and so I'm able to get AI out of my experience. Google Workspace is a little bit harder. I'm a paid customer of Google Workspace, hashtag not sponsored, and it's a little harder to get Gemini out of things. I thought I have Gemini turned off. It's popping up everywhere. So Google Workspace does not make it easy to get away from Gemini or AI. Right now, Microsoft is giving me ways to turn off Copilot. So hopefully they will continue allowing it to be turned off. Ana Lucia says, and subscription based. Technically, Microsoft Windows is no, I guess I'm not paying a subscription for Windows right now. I'm paying a subscription for Microsoft Office, whatever that's being called now, 365. I'm just paying for one personal license so that I have licensed and updated versions of Word, PowerPoint. I still use Word and PowerPoint pretty heavily. I don't use other Microsoft tools right now. So if I really had to replace Word and PowerPoint, I could. I could try to move into Google Slides. I could try to move into Google Docs. But right now, especially for writing books, Word is still the best tool for that I have found. I'm not going to move into Word Perfect, and I'm not sure if LibreOffice is going to cut it. Um, so they're still getting my subscription money for that. With a little funny face of saying we'll see. So yeah, I'm not too sure what'll happen with this whole Windows 12 thing, but given that I have a computer from like 2014 that is still running Windows 10, I think I have two computers from at least 10 years ago still running Windows 10, and originally Microsoft said they were going to orphan them and you weren't going to get security updates and that was going to be terrible for you, and then they when they saw how many people did not update to Windows 11 or couldn't because of the specifications, they extended Windows 10 uh, um, support, not support for the operating system, but support supposedly for the security or defender side for 1 year. I think they're going to end up having to do things like this. Otherwise, there's just going to be a lot of people uh, leaving. I think if Linux were something I were comfortable with, I would have already moved to it, but I'm not command line level person. I don't think Macs are better, and I can imagine them trying to go in some of the same over AI directions. But I'm not thrilled with what they cost compared to my Windows machines. So I'm staying away from Mac right now. But if Windows gets ugly enough, I'll move to Mac. I mean, I've got to use something. I will miss VMix. We are broadcasting from VMix right now. Hashtag not sponsored. VMix is Windows only. Maybe it would inspire them to make something for Mac. I don't know. Ana Lucia says, I kind of hope LibreOffice starts picking up some of the stuff that people like. We don't need monopolies. Yeah, or Google Docs. Google Docs don't have a lot of the features that Word has. And I get it. Some people say, oh, Word is bloated. Hey, depending upon what you're doing, a Google Doc might be enough. But if I'm trying to write a book and I need, headers and footers, and I need an automatic index, and I need it to count figure numbers automatically so that if I remove an image, it renumbers all the images. A lot of that stuff right now either doesn't exist in Google Docs or is still better in Word. So I think in some ways, Google Docs is excellent for what it needs to be and for many people's use cases. And I might just be an edge case because I'm working in some publishing universes. Ah, stay hydrated, everybody. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? I'm usually here up to an hour. It's an open ask anything. You can ask in the chat and it'll pop up on the screen, or you can ask anonymously at dcx.to/q. Sometimes those come in after the show has ended. I always save them and we answer those questions next Wednesday. So your questions will always be answered. Alicia says, I was in uni when Google Docs came out. We did our group work there, but then I would have to move the content to a formatted Word document to comply with the uni's regulations. That makes sense. Yeah. I was thinking the other day about my own university years, which were 1989 to 1993, and I was a music major. And a lot of our music homework was you actually had to make sheet music. You actually had to do that. And my favorite professor, who I'm helping with his next textbook, Professor Devoto, who's now 86 years old, may he live forever healthily. Um, Back in the late 80s, he used to make everybody do their homework with a calligraphy pen, and you were not allowed to use whiteout. If you messed up your music homework, you would have to start again. You had to turn into him a perfect manuscript with a calligraphy pen. I had a little Macintosh at the time, and I had something called Deluxe Music Construction Set. And oh boy, that is ancient. You can look it up if you want, but it was called Deluxe Music Construction Set. I later graduated into better music software, but that's what I had at the time. And I said, Professor, may I please turn in my homework? Dot matrix printed out from this little music program I had. He said, only on one condition. He said, if you have eighth notes, can you adjust the angle of the bar line? And I said, yes. And he said, then I'll allow your printed out homework. And I was the only person in the class turning in computer printed out sheet music. Everyone else had to use a calligraphy pen. I'm so sorry, everybody. Hashtag privilege. But yeah, sometimes you have to move stuff into other stuff because of regulations and But yeah, I think especially if you're turning in an academic document, Word still makes a lot of sense with indexing and citations and all of that kind of stuff. So, and I really I don't expect Google Docs to go there. It could, but it doesn't need to. I use Google Docs for lots of stuff, and it's great. It's great for what it can do, but when it comes to books and publishing and academic documents, Word might just be better. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes, and if I'm frozen in time and on Windows 11, that's okay too. Or if I end up having to buy a Mac, that's okay too. Like, I'm gonna figure this out, but I think Linux is probably over my head. Ana Lucia says, yeah, it was the only tool that worked with all the stuff we had to use, the automated APA references, indexes. Yeah, my professor is starting to work on his manually typed out index for the music textbook we're working on, which is over 400 pages. I've been helping him out. He is paying me, so hashtag thank you. I do help people with their books. I do get paid for that. Um, but yeah, he's been trying to publish this book for over 20 years, and I saw him a few years ago, and his girlfriend since 1972 was like, "Let Debbie help you with your book," and so I'm very excited to help my favorite professor get his next textbook out. It'll be this year for sure. We're close to done with it, but it's bare. And then all the music book publishing um companies have gone out of business, so we're still trying to figure out how we're going to get it out there, especially since he dreams of it being spiral bound, and I haven't been able to find any print on demand that'll print on demand spiral bound. If you know of anybody in any country that is doing print on demand spiral bound, let me know. Otherwise, he's going to have to print it and get it into warehouses that will ship for him. He's not going to pack and ship these. He's 86. Ana Lucia says, I will keep using my Windows 10 until I can't anymore. Yes, on my other two computers, I agree with you. And then I'll probably move into Linux, although I'm not 100% comfortable with the command line. I did take a course on it because my previous work required it. Some clients had Linux servers. Yeah, that's very gutsy of you. I admire you in general. And for that, I started on Macs. Well, I started on Apples. I got my first Apple computer in 1985. We got an Apple II Plus, and then we got an Apple IIe. And then when I went away to college in 1989, or university, I got a Macintosh SE, and that was my first computer. And I used Macs for a while, but after I graduated, when I wanted to get into websites and HTML, there was nothing good for Macs at the time. If you were working in websites and web administration and HTML files, Windows was the way. So I switched to Windows 1998, 1997. It's really been quite a while, and I've been happy with Windows for its pros and its cons. Certainly it's not perfect, and it certainly looks like it's getting further enshittified. I'm not afraid to move back to a Mac if I need to, but I would only do that if it's not taking the same enshittified route of let's make everything AI. Windows 7 was perfection. Yeah, I have, hold on. I think I have this in my drawer next to me. I still have some of my old computers. I think this one has Windows 7 on it. I haven't tried to boot it up lately, but this to me was one of the best computers I ever had from the perspective of design. So, who remembers netbooks? I think this computer is from 2008. This is, I'm a big fan of Lenovo's. Nearly every computer I have is a Lenovo, hashtag not sponsored. This is a Lenovo, and I think it was called, you can see the reflection of my ring light. I think the model was called the S as in Sam S103T, and it looks like this. So basically, it was a small laptop, but with a really nice size, very comfortable keyboard. But you could do this, and then it was a tablet with a touchscreen. It didn't come with a pen, but you really didn't need one. And so it was basically a mini touchscreen laptop. And I think it was running Windows 7. There's a Microsoft sticker on here, but it's pretty worn out. But the funny thing is that you can compare it to the size of my phone, almost this size at this point. And that's another thing that I wonder, like, if Windows becomes ugly and disgusting, could I run my life from an Android tablet? I don't even know. I don't even know. But I must say, I miss this one. When it comes to a really portable type of powerful computer, this was a genuinely powerful computer. This was a great little guy. Again, Lenovo S10 3T, I think it was from 2008. Ana Lucia says that does seem quite portable. It would fit in your bag for sure without having to go with an oversized bag. Yeah, it was great, and I got this little case for it at Best Buy, and I still have the power cord. So if I wanted, I could try to charge this up and see if it boots up, and we could all have a good laugh. But yeah, I have all the things. But to me, that was uh, the best laptop I ever had with respect to form factor and design. The size and weight of this was great. Taking it on an airplane was great. Using it on an airplane was great. Compare that to, here's my other old Lenovo, which I think this is my other one that's still on Windows 10. This is my old Lenovo. Oh god, I forgot what model this is. It says Windows 8, but I think it ended up on Windows 9. This is a huge 16-inch laptop. It's huge, it's heavy, the battery lasts about an hour. It still works. It's on Windows 10. Keep it as a spare. Came in really handy when my other laptop got stolen in September, and then I had to do a karaoke show, and we pulled that out. We installed the karaoke software on it, and we ran the karaoke show from like a 2016 Windows 10 laptop. So I'm not a hoarder, but I do tend to save my electronics as backups and spares and just in cases. And so, in fact, what you can't see is just to the right of my desk is a external screen that I bought for myself probably 12 years ago. And I actually run my camera off of that. So I have my camera on this screen, and then vmix pulls it in off the second screen. I also use that side screen sometimes for when I'm doing a live talk, and I want to see what slide I'm on, and I'll put the slides on the side screen. But it's like this old USB screen. It's not like a VGA, or it's a USB screen. It's a Toshiba from a million years ago. Ana Lucia says, I remember having to go with my laptop all the time in 2009. It was a Toshiba, big and heavy, and it had to have its own bag. I was 18 and I got back pain just from going around with it on top of my regular bag. Yeah, I feel you. I was on vacation 2 weeks ago, and it was a working vacation, and I brought my new laptop, which replaced the stolen laptop, which you haven't seen because it's in my booth, so I haven't held it up, but it's a new Lenovo Legion. And it's thinner and it's lighter, which is nice, but still trying to carry it everywhere with a heavy power cord was still a thing, especially since I bought another 16-inch laptop. So I would have a big, nice, bright screen to be able to work on comfortably. Yeah. I I'm trying to even remember what was my first laptop. I think my first laptop might have been a ThinkPad, which was pre Lenovo. IBM Lenovo bought IBM's business IBM's laptop business off of them. So the old ThinkPads and the old IBM laptops are now the Lenovo's. So if you're wondering, like, who's Lenovo, they are now. So now it's Lenovo ThinkPads and stuff like that. But I buy the Lenovo Legions. The one that I got in September or October to replace the stolen one, I guess, is my third Lenovo Legion, and those are gaming laptops. So they tend to have a little more RAM. They tend to have a better video card, and that way I can do the streaming from them. Because if I buy too light a laptop, I won't be able to have enough power to do the streaming. So if you see my karaoke stream, if you're watching the book club stream, that's from the Lenovo Legion laptop. Whereas here, I've got a big tower next to my desk. Oh, so this turned into talking about old tech. It's kind of sad that this kind of portability and accessibility is now overlooked. Everything is just so big. Yes and no. I also still have a so my new when my stuff was stolen, I unfortunately had two laptops stolen. I had my Lenovo Legion stolen and my Surface Pro 9. I think the Surface Pro 9 is a great choice. Hashtag not sponsored. The problem is that it's the video card is not strong. So it's a great productivity laptop. It's comfortable to type on, it's light to bring around. I love the Surface Pros, but I decided not to buy another one after this one was stolen. But give me 1 second and I'll go get my old one. I have a Surface Pro 3 that that I pulled out after my 9 was stolen, and I was like, well, the 3 is working, so what the hell? It boots up real slow and it opens programs real slow, but then it works. Hold on. So this is a Surface Pro 3 from like 2000, I don't know, 15, 16. First of all, the power cord is really small and light. This is the transformer. So this is the transformer compared to the size of my phone. So the power cord is small and light, which is great. I put a longer cable on it, but it's I love the small transformer. And then the form factor of the Surface Pro really reminds me of that old netbook. This is really close to the size of a piece of paper. So, like, here's a piece of A4 paper. So it's about the size of a piece of paper. It's I think it's a 12.3-inch screen, and so when it opens up, it looks like this. Here is the size of it compared to my phone. So you can see it's about as tall as my phone, but a much bigger screen. The Surface Pros come separately from the keyboard. So you can use it as a tablet. The vacation I was on, the karaoke, you picked a song, they went around with Surface Pro tablets, and you didn't have the keyboard piece. So you can actually completely remove the keyboard because it's magneted. So it's proprietary. So you have to buy this from Microsoft and it just gets more expensive. But this weighs almost nothing. I think this is 1 kilogram. So this is absolutely my favorite for traveling. Uh, if I'm just doing non streaming stuff, if I'm going to be streaming or video editing or any of that, this just isn't powerful enough and I need the gaming laptop. But if I'm just going to be emailing people and writing and even doing research interviews and reports, video calls. This is fine. A Surface Pro is fine for that. But I've decided not to replace it because essentially I had two laptops and my thought was I'm not gonna buy two laptops again. So I think for form factor, Surface Pro is has become my favorite for it's I mean, look how thin it is. It's really thin and light. Um and it's running Windows. Obviously, your closest competitor on Mac is probably something like the MacBook Air, but even so, it's not quite the same form factor. I don't think the Macs have the detachable keyboard and stuff like that. So, but yeah, again, I always wonder like, what if I just had a giant Android tablet? I could probably get a lot done on that except for streaming. And so that's where I keep landing is no matter what, I'll always need some sort of computer that's good for streaming. But the new Lenovo Legion, let me go grab that really quickly before we end the show in case you're curious. Sorry, I had to go to the other side of the house to grab that one because it's in my recording booth. So, this is the computer that I got to replace the one that was stolen. This is the new Lenovo Legion. I think it's the 7i. You can see it's really thin. The cheaper, lower specs versions of the Legions are white. It's my first white computer. It's a little weird. And then the more expensive ones were black, but they were 1,000 more, and that was just too much. Ana Lucia says, I don't think the Android idea will come true anytime soon. Yeah, it's not just not likely. But this laptop is sorry, I accidentally pressed the inline mute button. So this is a 16-inch laptop with a full size keyboard and a trackpad and a nice camera up at the top. And so this was what replaced the stolen one. So this is Lenovo Legion 7i. I got it in October, and yeah, so far I'm very happy with it. It's not that heavy, but like most Lenovo's, it does come with a big power cord. I'm getting maybe 4 hours out of the battery. So, um, it's pros and cons. Doesn't seem bad. Gaming laptops are usually chunky. No, no, this is definitely not. This is really, really thin. I mean, just for thinness, I'll hold it up next to my phone. Really. I mean, closed, it's almost as thin as a chunky cell phone. So they really did a good job with the new Lenovo Legions. They're much thinner and lighter. This and I thought the price of this wasn't that bad. I think I paid 2,000 euros for this in October 6 months ago as a replacement for one that was stolen. And so it's got nice specs. It's got a great video card. It's fast. I'm able to, and mostly I was worried about like video editing and streaming. So I go for the Lenovo Legions. Traveling with this is going to be different. The Surface Pro could fit into nearly any bag I had because it was so small. This only fits into some big big backpacks that I have because it is a 16-inch laptop. So, just a couple of thoughts there on um, on hardware. So, yeah, so I do miss the other form factors, but at the same time, sometimes it's hard on the small um, Surface Pro type of screen to do. Sometimes you just need that bigger screen, or you're trying to do two windows or something like that, and it's not always great. I used to have a lot of problems trying to do like Acture and prototyping from like a Surface Pro screen. It was just so small. But not Acturing now. So there you go. Okay, so we've ended up talking a bit about new and old laptops. It's funny, new and old laptops and netbooks. And as you can tell, I'm somebody who likes to keep tech forever. Like I am not the buy the latest computer person or run out and get the latest cell phone. Usually when a company comes out with a new version, I buy last year's version because I'm just super cheap. Yeah, this is an S24 Ultra, and I got it when the 25s came out. So the 25s came out, they dropped the prices on the 24. My Samsung had been orphaned already, and so I got that. The desktop computer that I'm working off of that is here at my desk. I had it custom made in 2021. It is literally 5 years old, and I think it's going to last me a while longer. I tried to put some pretty good specs in it and let it run, so it doesn't seem to be slowing down. I don't like to buy equipment. It's a waste of, metals and crystals and resources and stuff. And so I try to avoid it, and I try to keep things forever, like my ancient Surface Pro 3, which I'm not using very much right now, but I did pull out just in case I wanted to be ultra portable. But who knows? But yeah, I can't stream from it. Anyway, thanks for hanging out and chatting about old tech and a little bit about AI. And I will wrap up the show. And let's see, I don't think we have a show tomorrow. I think I actually get a day off of show. Yes, I'm going to go food shopping. And then I'll see some people on Friday for book club. Book club will be start. I think we'll get through chapters 3, 4, and 5. I am live reading my new book to everybody. You are welcome to join for free, but once the stream is over, I take it down because it's going to be recorded as the audiobook. So the audiobook will be a bootleg of a live concert of me reading it. So that is the story, and I'll be back next week if anybody has any questions that I can help with. Otherwise, join the Discord community. We're here to support you. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.